Okay, class. Today we're going to work on some more math skills. It's really important that we learn to solve problems, and these problems have basically just three variables in them, if you will. In this case, we're going to be working with power, all right? And power is defined as work divided by time. So it's how much work can be done in a given amount of time. That determines power. Okay, you can read through this problem. If you want to, you'll see the equation down here gets rearranged. Power equals work divided by time. The unknown, right? They write down the givens. Okay, they write down the unknown. I usually say find. Okay, it's what we don't know. It's what we're looking for. All right, so they have to rearrange this equation. Power equals work divided by time, or P equals W over T. Okay, these are the symbols for power, work, and time. So they go ahead and rearrange it here, but then they leave this thing in the middle, which is kind of confusing. All right, and it's hard to see that this T and that T are actually crossed out. All right, it's hard to see that, so I'm going to go ahead and take my red pen and cross through there. All right. Now, over here, if you will, imagine this just being moved over. It's basically power times time equals work. Okay? Power times time equals work. And that's what they did down here. All right? Work equals power in watts times time in seconds. Okay, the unit for power is watt. And I'll talk to you about that, what that is. It should be up on the board. All right. So let's look at number one. We're going to do two problems, I think, on here, and then we'll do one on the board, and then I'll let you guys work, and I'll come around and help you. All right, the first practice problem here says 1 horsepower, or 1 HP, is the unit of power based on the work that a horse can do in 1 second. You got to love those English. All right, this is defined in English units as a force of 550 pounds that can move an object 1 foot in 1 second. All right, and I think I've told you this before, but there's a difference between pounds force, which this is referring to, versus pounds mass. We're not going to get into that, okay? But it's 550 pounds times a foot divided by seconds is 1 horsepower. Okay, and 1 horsepower is equal to 745.7 watts. Now, suppose you have a horse that has a power output of 750 watts. How much work does the horse do in 0.55 seconds? All right, there's a lot of information in this problem that's actually just distractors, but it's interesting information. Okay, so let's start working this problem. First, we're going to write, here, I'll bring this clipboard over, bring this over to the clipboard. All right, 1, right? That's the first problem. We have given, and put the semicolon, and I'm going to put find, again, semicolon. All right, we have a power output, or power, equals 750 watts. Okay, and the time is going to be 0.55 seconds. All right. Okay, so what are we trying to find? We're trying to find work. And work is going to be a question mark, and it has units, as we saw from the last time, of joules. All right, now you have to be careful not to get confused. When you see 750W, right, that's a watt. If it comes right after a number, that's a unit. As opposed to over here, these are symbols. All right, so this is a symbol for work is W. The symbol for watts is W. All right, two totally different things. This is a unit, right, of measurement. These are symbols that refer to power, time, and work. Okay, now we've rearranged our equation right over here in red. I wrote it down. Power times time equals work. You could do P dot T equals W. Maybe I should do that. Because that X looks kind of suspicious, right? It's a shady character. It looks like an X from, XY coordinates. All right, so either one of those. All right, so I'm going to write that over here. P dot T, or power times time, equals work. All right. Now I'm just going to plug these values in. 750 watts times 0.55 seconds equals W. Okay. That's my power. That's my time. This is work. All right, so now let's see, 750 times 0.55. It's easy enough. Okay, 412.5, and the units are going to be joules. Okay, equals W. Now we're putting a box around our answer. All right. Now again, just like yesterday, let's assign point values. Okay, you do have to write given, and you do have to write find, and you have to write it every time. All right, so given, this one, first given is a point, your second given is a point, and your find is a point. Okay? Now if you don't write given, I'm going to take 1 point off. If you don't write find, I'm going to take 1 point off. Then you need to write the equation that you're going to be plugging values into. All right, there it is. So that's 1 point. And we get 1 point for plugging the values into the equation. Make sure you put the number and the unit every time, or I'll take points off, okay? And tell me still the symbol you're looking for. All right, now a watt times a second gives us a joule. Okay, so 412.5 joules equals the amount of work that was done. All right, so that's your answer. And we get 1 point for the correct number, 1 point for the correct unit, and 1 point for telling me what you found. All right, that's how it's gonna be graded. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, this is a total of 8 points. All right, there's the first one. All right, let's go to the next page. All right, that was the first page. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, that was the first page. Let's go to the second page. Again, there's an example problem. It's worked out for you. These are really worth reading. They're kind of interesting, I think. All right, now again, we get power equals work divided by time, or P equals W over T. And they're showing you how to algebraically rearrange this equation. Okay? Now, but it's confusing because it's hard to see that this P and this P are canceled, that T and that T are canceled. And what you get is T equals W over P. All right, that W and that P come over here, and that time is equal to this. So what's really you have at the end is T equals W divided by P. Okay, so time equals work divided by power. Okay, and if you look down here, you'll see, right, work has units of joules and power has units of watts. Well, a watt is actually a joule per second. So joules divided by joules per second actually becomes seconds. All right, it's like 1 over S goes to just S. All right, I'm going to cross this P out with that P and this T with this T. Now you can kind of see that T equals W divided by P, or T equals W divided by P. All right, zoom in some. Okay, it's kind of confusing. Just focus on that guy. All right, just take this one, rearrange it, and you get that one. Okay, if you're solving for time, this is what you need to use. If you're solving for work, this is what you need to use. Okay, and then let's go to the last page real quick. If you're solving for power, well, we already have it, right? Right here. That's what you need to use. Okay, power equals work divided by time. Work is joules, time is seconds. Power is watts. Now this is kind of funky because they went here and did 1.2 times 10 to the 7th watts, and then they said 12 megawatts. All right. A mega means a million. All right, so it's 12 million watts, which is the same as 1.2 times 10 to the 7th watts. Anyway. All right, let's go back and do number 4 is what we were going to do. Okay, in order to sail through the frozen Arctic Ocean, the most powerful icebreaker ever built was constructed in the former Soviet Union. At the heart of the ship's power plant is a nuclear reactor with a power output of 5.60 times 10 to the 7th watts. How long will it take for this power plant to do 5.35 times 10 to the 10th joules of work? All right, let's do this problem. Okay, now this is nice because it's got scientific notation. So I'm going to show you how to do that again on this calculator. If you have a different calculator, go back and watch the calculator video that I made for you guys. All right, first of all, come over here. See if I can get all this in one screen, maybe not. Zoom. All right, that's kind of hard to see, but we'll do the best we can. All right, So number 4. Okay, again, I'm leaving a line here. I'll start number 4 here. I've got givens. I'm going to write given. I'm going to write find. All right. I'm given a power output of 5.60 times 10 to the 7th watts. And I'm given a amount of work of 5.35 times 10 to the 10th joules. All right. And I'm trying to find my time, which is a question mark. We're looking for units of seconds on time. All right. Now, it might be a whole bunch of seconds, and if you really wanted to go through the trouble of converting that into minutes or hours, hey, have at it, or even days. Okay, we'll just go for seconds. All right, put your answer in seconds. All right, I got all my givens. I got what I'm trying to find. My equation that I'm going to use is this T equals W over P. All right, and if you're like, I'm confused, look right here. Okay, joules divided by watts will give you seconds. All right, I've got joules and watts. Let's write down the equation we're using. T equals W over P. Okay. I'm gonna write this bigger. It's a little hard to see. T equals W over P. All right, so time equals my work is 5.35 times 10 to the 10th joules. Remember to write down your units. Divided by 5.60 times 10 to the 7th watts. Okay, that's going to be a large number of seconds, I can tell just by looking at it. All right, so time equals, let's get the calculator out and do scientific notation. All right, let's see if I can get the whole thing on here. I'm going to have to zoom up a little bit. All right. Okay, so it says 5.35, all right, and then I use the EXP button, and I just enter 10, okay, it's positive. So now I divide by 5.60 EXP7, okay. My answer is 955.3571429. We don't care about all those extra digits. We'll just round it off at 955. Okay, 3 numbers are sufficient. 955 seconds. Okay, it's like, well, how many minutes is that? Well, let's do this just for fun. All right, this is what I want. This is what I want for your answer. All right, 955 seconds. All right, again, red pen, assign some points. 1 point for the first given, 1 point for the second given, 1 point for what you're trying to find, 1 point for the equation, okay? 1 point for plugging your values into the equation. Make sure you write down the number and the unit, okay? And always use an equal sign. Always put the little thing you're finding, okay? Don't be lazy. Don't leave that stuff out. All right, and then 1 point for telling me what you found, 1 point for the number, and 1 point for the unit. Okay, if you round it off differently than I do, I really don't care, all right? If you put 955.4, I'm not gonna be upset about that, but you need to have the right number, okay? It doesn't have to be, it can be rounded off a little differently, but you should have the right answer. All right, again, this is gonna be 8 points. Each problem will be worth 8 points. There are 9 problems, so 9 times 8 is 72 points. That's pretty easy. All right. Okay, I'll show you here on the board how to do, if you want to convert this seconds to minutes. You guys all know how to do that, right? Just divide by 60. Okay, if you're going to convert to hours, then you divide by 60 again. If you're going to go to days, you divide by 24. All right, that's it.